Hey everybody, it's Elizabeth and welcome back to the channel. So today is a little bit of a different video because
if you're here for all the tea on my life, grab something to drink. I don't know. Listen while you work, listen while you garden, whatever it is you want to do, because this is going to take some time and we're going to put it all out there.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to title this, I have no idea what I'm doing. So we're going to have a little bit of a couch chat, except I'm in a recliner. But anyways, so, okay, I had to take my hair down. My ponytail was really getting on my nerves. But anyway, so I was editing a video, which would be the one that you saw just before this one. And I had mentioned there like being really low energy, and it got me to thinking about so much, because so much is going on in my life behind the scenes. And I feel like this is something that, you know, not only can people relate to, but just with the kind of the path I'm going down, affects this channel. And so I don't want it to be like a big surprise later on. So I know some other people in my life that I've spoken to are going through some kind of crazy things. And so part of me feels like maybe it's, you know, like cosmic or spiritual or whatever, but it's like, it's not just a me thing. But basically that for at least the last 3 or 4 months, so pretty much since spring of 23, I have been feeling a shift within myself to do things differently, to, you know, really kind of self-analyze everything I do in life, you know, hobbies I have, streams of income that I have, and just daily actions and whatever. And, you know, for just the tiniest bit of a backstory on me, I had a weight loss surgery back in 2010. And so for the last 13 years, I mean, that really kind of threw me on to like a journey of self-discovery and personal healing, and like facing my inner demons and stuff like that, because I really had to have the mental game very strong in order to accomplish the weight loss. So that's been 13 years now, and I've concluded that the journey never ends. Like, life is just the journey. Like, there's no end until life is over. I'm never going to get to a place where I feel like I'm perfect, I'm 100% healed, I'm 100% amazing. It just doesn't work that way. And not that I ever thought I was going to ever like reach perfection, but I did in the beginning start out feeling like there was an end goal of like supreme happiness and contentment within myself. And life has just taught me that it's a roller coaster. It's literally a roller coaster. There are many moments in my life, and sometimes even throughout an individual day, where I feel that supreme happiness, gratitude, contentment, self-love, like everything is wonderful. But like nobody lives there 24/7, like nobody. And so, you know, then you have like really lows, but then you spend the majority of your day in the middle, and the majority of your life in the middle. And so as I've been, you know, continuing on my ever constant journey, I'm always seeking like what am I supposed to be doing? You know, like, you know, I pray often, and I've been extremely blessed by my bookkeeping business. And it's completely ironic that I even got into the business in the first place. And then once I did, becoming successful still shocks me when I look back on the trajectory of my life at that point in time. And then that led to me opening my own business. And then my business profits grew year over year for the last 4 years. And there are many benefits to that. You know, it's nice making a lot of money. It's safe, honestly, is the biggest pro, is that if you've, which I'm sure you all have, had times in your life where you struggled financially, or bills were late, or had to move because you couldn't afford where you were, or just whatever. And I've done all that. And so the biggest benefit to making more money than you need that I have found is that you're less stressed, because you know that you're safe. You know that you can afford your house and everything you need and take care of your kids and, you know, maybe even do cooler fun things. And so that is the biggest advantage to me to that. And I have found, a way that I keep myself accountable, and not only what I've recently done, but also in my moving forward at all. As I move forward, I always have a goal. I journal often, not as often as I would like to, probably honestly just once or twice a month, to kind of touch base with my inner thoughts in writing form. But at the start of every month, I specifically do a specific journal entry to analyze the previous month. And the statistics that I analyze of my life every month are how much money I made last month, how many clients I have, what my credit scores are, my year-to-date income, and what my weight is. And that tells you right there what are some of the most important factors in my life, other than obviously like my family and their happiness. But I'm not measuring my family. These are measurable things that I can evaluate. And I have found correlations by tracking all of that for the last 3 years. I've found correlations between months where a month or a season where I would gain a few pounds, or a season where I would gain 10 or 15 pounds, was oftentimes when I was making the most money I'd ever made. So, you know, you get to that end of the month and you're like, wow, I made this much money. But then, you know, you write down that number of where my weight is, and I'm unsatisfied with that. And I have realized that for me, the weight gain is most often a reflection of the level of stress I'm feeling in my business. Now, if you've never been a business owner, it might not be anything that you can really like relate to, but you know, everything is 100% on you, you know, and there are pros and cons to that. The con is all the bills fall on you, all the responsibility falls on you, all the work falls on you. If anything goes wrong, you're the one to blame. Like, it's just all on you. But the the benefit to that is you can work as much or little as you choose. You have complete control over your schedule and whatever. And that in my line of work, there's no limit to what I can achieve. I can literally just continue to bring on new clients. I can hire a contractor to do some of the work, and I can bring on more clients, and I can just continue to grow that way. And that's what I've done for the last few years. I do have a contractor who works for me, and I grew from having one client to now we handle 36 a month between the two of us. And I've lost 6 clients in the last 4 months. And like 4 of those 6 were a really good income because they were a lot of responsibilities. So they weren't a small client. They were, you know, 5 or more hours a week of work, which that doesn't sound like a lot to most people, 5 hours a week, whatever. But like if you have a small business and you need to outsource just your financing stuff, 5 hours a week, honestly, for most like remote jobs, you're handling pretty much everything they need. Payroll, taxes, you know, all the day-to-day stuff, whatever, which of course it just depends on the size of the company. But anyway, so that was a hit, and I've pretty much not financially recovered since the spring. So, you know, that hit came with losing like 2 clients 1 month, and then like 2 months later I lost 2 clients. And some of those are just kind of organic, natural processes that you go through as a business owner. And I had experienced that before, but then it's never been hard for me to find new clients before. And this year it's been actually harder. Like, I mean, just for example, so say that if I find my clients through a freelance website, and in the past, historically, if I had applied to like 20 openings, 20 people who need a bookkeeper, I would hear from at least 10 of them. So that's like a 50% ratio. And then oftentimes, like, let's see, if I applied for 20, then like 2 would hire me. So that's like a 10% success rate, whatever. And then what I've seen for the last 6 to 8 months is that, you know, I have to apply to like 60 to get 3 interviews and maybe 1 hire. So it's just, I don't know that there's more competition. I don't know that there's less jobs. I don't know what really is driving that factor. And honestly, I don't even care. What it means to me is how it affects me, like spiritually. What I'm thinking about is what I want to do with my life, because I've told you guys we have a grandbaby coming, grandbaby on the way, baby boy, and he's going to be here in December. And being as I was a young mom, I had my boys whenever I was 19 and 21. I always knew, and especially since I was in real estate for like, well, I still am. So 14 or 15 years now, I've been in real estate. Maybe it's around 13. But anyways, the amount of time I've been in real estate, when you're in real estate, you learn that real estate is a good long-term investment, being like a landlord, having short-term rentals, whatever. It's a great retirement plan for someone who's self-employed, because if you're not just normally investing in stock or contributing to like a retirement account, owning a property that you could sell for $120,000, $150,000 at any point in your life, you could do that. You could hold that property and you could sell it when you're like, 60, and fill up your bank account and live on that for like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, however long you can make it last, and then sell another property. And so that's always been my end goal, is to have a real estate portfolio as my retirement plan, because I've been self-employed for so long. So I do have like a Roth IRA I contribute to, but things like that. But it's, it's minimal. I'm diversified. Let's just say that. But I've always said, since I've been self-employed for so long, I've always said that by the time I had a grandkid, I would be semi-retired. And the reason that matters to me is because by nature, I'm a workaholic. I love to work. I love to do. Okay, that's it. I just love to do. And when I can put my energy, all that energy that I have into work that benefits me financially, super. But also, like on the weekends, I'm doing all weekend. I'm gardening, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm whatever. And if everything is somehow, the garden is good and the house is spotless and it's no problem to cook 3 meals a day, then I'm going to be like freaking crafting or painting a room or something. Like, I'm always doing things. But my thing is when grandkids exist in this world, then my desire is to have the time freedom to spend as much time with them as possible. I want to help the kids out. I want to babysit grandbaby all the time, keep him all the time, do whatever I need to do to help them. I hope they're here all the time, just having dinner with us and getting to see the baby. And they both work nights. So, it's going to be a matter of figuring out, which of all of us grandparents can coordinate and help keep the kids for them, so they're not having to pay for daycare or a babysitter. That would make my heart so sad. If I was over here working my butt off and our kid had to pay for a babysitter for their kid. Now, I'm not knocking on anyone who that's their life and that's what they have to do. I get it. I had to pay. I always had to pay. I never had relatives watch my kids for free. And that's why I have the desire to do that for them. Because when I lived in Phoenix and was raising kids, my daycare bill was $1,200 to $1,500 a month for years. And it really, really, really forced me to, I would say it forced me to. It made me struggle. And it made it a whole lot harder for me to ever get ahead in life. Everything took way, way longer because childcare was so expensive. And I don't want our kids to have to do that. And I want to be with that baby all the time. And so, it's just mutually beneficial. And so in order to have the time freedom, I have to figure out what I want to do. So ever since the spring, early this year, pretty much as soon as they told us they were having a kid, I began thinking about the direction of my life and the direction of my business and what do I want to do. And right about that same time, you guys, is when I lost 2 clients. And that's why I feel like when I can look back over the last, ever since the spring and kind of analyze the chain of events, then what I'm seeing is that I had this idea that maybe I should no longer be putting so much time into my business, and then boom, I lose some clients, almost as if God is being like, yes, you need to step away. I'm stubborn. I keep working. I keep pushing. I keep trying to find new clients. I'm trying to do whatever to bridge the gap financially, because that's what you got to do to survive. And then I run into this idea that you can sell a bookkeeping firm. That's pretty cool. I didn't know you could even do that. So I spent some time researching that and thinking, okay, maybe that's what I should do, because my business is not anything that any of our kids are into and would want to inherit and continue to run. I already know that because I know their personalities. And so that's where I'm at, you guys. That's where I'm at. I'm trying to figure out, I feel like at this very moment in my life, I have accomplished almost everything that I've ever wanted to accomplish in life. I say that in regards to specific goals, happiness goals. Like, I feel really good about myself. I love where I'm at on an individual level, but knowing and accepting that there will be progress and change, and that's just part of life. I love my husband dearly. Our marriage is wonderful. I could not ask for a better husband. Our kids are doing good. They're really thriving. Although we did move out of this house, last year, and different things happened, and we're back here now. I couldn't be happier to be here. I love this home. I love this land. I love this town. I love Arkansas. I have no complaints about this. When we left, I was following my intuition that was my next step that needed to be done. I did that. Wonderful things happened. We came back here. So I have no regrets about leaving or coming back. So, and then just recently buying that truck is almost kind of like, it's not like it was a dream truck for me, because I had actually, an Audi Q7 had been my dream truck for a long time. But in researching it, I just found that this vehicle was better. And so I bought the Kia Telluride. But what is a dream for me in that regard is that it has so few miles on it. It gets really good gas mileage. It's beautiful. It has so many nice upgraded fancy features, which I feel like I'm really spoiling myself with. And I'm glad that I was able to kind of bless myself with that. Because I feel like it's kind of like a tangible physical representation of all of the work I put into my firm. And I'm really proud of that. So when I do this sort of video, you guys, I have no list. I'm just trying to gather my thoughts. And I'm sitting here with this cozy, very soft new blanket. I just got at Dollar General the other day because they were buy one, get one free. So I finally did get one for the front porch for that chair, and I got this one too. I guess, so another thing that I've done is I paid off all of my debt from whenever I was younger. Debt I'd carried around for over 10 years. Which, just FYI, some of that stuff does stay on your credit report. It's not like it just all falls off, some falls off. But anyway, so took care of all of that and have worked really hard to raise my credit. That's why that's one of the things I check myself on every month. And just, opening a larger credit card was a goal because I never could before, and I accomplished that. And, I just feel like when it comes to materialistic things, I've done all the things. So I've done everything that I would want to do. If you think about yourself when you're 16 or 17 or maybe even, 18, 19 as a, young female, and you're thinking about everything you want in life, you're like, I want to make a lot of money, and I want to have a really nice car. And I want to have the best, sexiest husband ever. And I want to love my job, and have an awesome dog. I don't know. What kind of goals did you have at that point in life? That was pretty much, those were my goals, And I've done all that, I've made a lot of money. And I feel like my life, and this is part of why I wrote a book about my life, and I've still not published it yet. And I will someday. Because it's really important to me, and then it actually kind of ties into this whole subject of what we're talking about. But it's how my life has been so diverse, and I feel like that's been a huge blessing. Because if I just compare my life path thus far to my husband's life path, he's lived in the same town his whole life, and he's had 3 jobs which, so one of them he had for like 17 years, you know. So just comparing different things, you know, he's lived in, I think, 3 houses his whole life. This one right here being like the longest, because he grew up in this house. But then you look at that compared to, I've lived in like 5 different states. I've lived in probably over 35 houses. Once upon a time when my resume was like all inclusive, you know, as you stay in a field like 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you take some of them first few crappy jobs off your resume. When my resume was still like every job I'd ever done, I think it was like 15 jobs. Like, I bounced around a lot when I was younger, trying to find myself and trying to figure out, up until I got into real estate, because I was just like, that was me. You know, I've gone to college on campus. I've traveled. I've left the country. I've gone to other countries. And that's amazing. But also just like on a personal level, like, I've been so broke that I could only feed my kids. I didn't have enough money to buy myself something. And when I was buying them food, it was like ramen and stuff, which is literally, mind you, like $3, right? By like, I mean, with $3, you could get like 6 things of ramen. And like, there was a time in my life where that was my life, that I struggled that much. There was also that time in my life where I got engaged and then married and then divorced within 30 days, filed for divorce 30 days after getting married. So that's a highlight that a lot of my family likes to remind me of, because it was like the epitome of a bad decision. But I learned a lot from that, and from, you know, the following events that occurred after that. And I should have listened to myself. I knew before I married him that I shouldn't marry him, and I did it anyways because I felt bad that family was flying in for the wedding. And it would have been a whole lot easier on everyone would just cancel the wedding and not gone through with all that stuff. But anyways, so I feel like, you know, conversely, having that time where like I could barely feed myself and my children, you know, because again, that was at a time when I was paying $1,500 a month for daycare and was working full time. And I've had the experience of having 2 little ones in daycare, worked full time, and going to college online full time. So I like barely slept during that phase of my life. And I've also lived in like an actual mansion twice. Once with my parents and once with a guy that I was dating. And so I had that life of what it was like to live in either like a really gorgeous or immaculate house, but as a teenager, but then also as an adult being the one who was responsible for said house. And what that taught me was there is nothing so fascinating and wonderful about a 4,000 square foot house that I have the desire to clean it every week, because it's a huge waste of space. So living in that house, which that was, you know, another brief relationship of mine. I've had numerous different adult relationships, and I've had so many encounters with just humans, not even like a relationship, but just encounters with people that taught me so much about life, because I was in a weird place at a time and I met someone and had an amazing conversation. And so when you compare that sort of life to my husband's much more simplified life, I feel like all of the random extremes that I've been through in my life have taught me so many lessons. And the biggest lesson that I'm still presently working on learning, and I feel like I'm nearing the end of it, is to not value money so much, to not value materialism and money. And when I say like materialism, I don't mean like I want XYZ so that I look good or people are jealous of me, but rather than I want XYZ just because I want it. Like I literally don't care what other people think about me. I don't care what they think about my new vehicle. I don't care what they think about my clothes. If I think I look cute, fabulous, I look cute. I'm not worrying about it anymore beyond that. But materialism as in I'm implying the importance of a material item. Only me. The The energetic exchange is between me and the item. And why do I feel it's necessary to have this blanket? Why? Did I need it? No. Still don't need it. And here it is. And it's like, so why am I telling myself that I need specific material things? In order to get those things, I need to work X amount of time and have all these clients and bring in new clients and make X amount of money, when really the thought of working so much and spending so much time working is very stressful for me. So if I know it's stressful for me, why am I doing that? So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at in my life, you guys. I'm trying to figure out why I need to not necessarily like why I chase the dollar, but I just know I need to stop chasing the dollar. I'm ready to calm down. I'm ready to have time freedom. I'm ready to semi-retire. I'm 38 years old. I'll be 39 in January, right after our grandson makes his appearance. And I feel like I've been in a phase and I'm slipping deeper and deeper and deeper into this phase of starting to value material things less and prioritizing and valuing my own time freedom, relaxation, peacefulness, calmness. Like, when I work so much with my work like I do now, and even just sharing 2 or 3 videos a week to you guys on YouTube, which, you know, I don't get paid for. It's just, my channel's not monetized. So I'm just sharing this to share, right? When I'm putting all this energy into all these other things, I'm literally not doing things I need to be doing. Like, one, I've not swam in my pool or floated around and tanned or read a book near enough this summer. And the opportunity is escaping, you know, like the pool is almost too cold. There was a time in my life where I did yoga every morning for 18 months. And that was, honestly, I was just telling my husband this last night, that was the happiest I've ever been. And the reason I say that is because my life was just very different then. I was single, so I didn't have like a man in my life or anything, but I think what was a really huge factor into why I was so happy then was because I had a lot of time freedom. I would get up every morning and I would do yoga before I did anything else, and then I would start my day. And I was in real estate, so there would be weeks where all I had to do was send a few emails, make a few phone calls, and like, that was it. I didn't have nothing else to do. That was when I first started my original YouTube channel back in 2016. And I would, if I wanted to go outside and garden for 5 hours, I could. I wasn't missing out on nothing. My income was still the same, whether I was in the garden or whether I wasn't. Like, it was wonderful. Now with my business, if I'm not working and I'm in the garden or I'm traveling, I'm losing money. So when I'm doing things I want to enjoy, I'm losing money. And I'm over here thinking in the back of my mind how important it is that I make XYZ this month, because not only do we need to pay bills, but I want to go on this trip, or I want to buy that thing, or I want to, you know, buy a new trampoline for the kids. It's $700 with a swing set attached. Do they need that? No, they don't need that. But like, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking all the time. And I'm just trying to step out of that because I'm ready. The reason I sat down to film this video today was because in that last video, which I stopped editing so that I could film this, is I mentioned how tired I've been lately, how exhausted I've been. And I feel like it's not even a physical exhaustion, you guys. I feel like it's a soul level exhaustion from my business, from my mixed up priorities. And I can fix that. I can adjust that. I can do differently. So how does this pertain to you? Why should you give a crap? Maybe you shouldn't. I don't know. Is that a bird? Yep, that's a bird. I was wondering what in the world was coming out from under that deck over there. Here's the thing. I want to tell you this story. If you're still here, thank you. I know we're like around 30 minutes and wow, thanks for still being here. But I want to tell you this without like saying anything weird to like get myself in trouble or anything. But there's this guy on this platform, okay, this one, where you're seeing, who I watch, who does like political reaction videos, and I like him a lot. Found him like a month ago. Been watching his videos. He posts like in the last month. I mean, of course, there's a lot of stuff going on in the last month politically, but he posts like anywhere from 2 to 4 videos like a day, or maybe it's a weekday. I don't know. But anyways, it's a lot. They're short videos. They're not real long. And so I've just been listening to them while I work. Well, yesterday or the day before, he posted a video that they, I'm going to put the word here on the screen so that they don't catch it in me saying it. So they did that. So he can no longer make money from that. And then they went a step deeper and they took his earnings for this upcoming period. And so he said that he normally made $4,000 to $6,000 a month from his platform, which is really good for a YouTube creator. I've never made that much on YouTube, but anyways, that's good. He put a lot of time and effort into it. He's got over 500,000 subscribers, whatever. But this particular month, I guess his channel like really exploded the month before. And so at the end of the month, so going into like the beginning of the next month, you can see your earnings. Did I just say that? Did I say the wrong word? I'm gonna have to bleep myself. He can see his numbers before the payday actually comes around. It's like there's like a 10-day delay. And in his numbers, he was gonna make $60,000. Y'all. I mean, I guess some creators, some people will be doing that. I don't know. But anyway, so they took it. They took it and said, you can't have it, basically, because he's in trouble. And when asked what rules were broken, they did not specifically reply. So they just won't tell him. And it has me really thinking about free speech in our nation lately and the lack of it and issues like that, which honestly gives me like a real unpleasant feeling about all this right here. All this that you're holding in your hand. So it makes me really want to go on Patreon, because they can't. I mean, one, I've already joined Twitter. I posted it on my YouTube community page the other day, because to me, it's the freest. Okay, it's not the freest social media platform. I love Truth. The Truth Social. I love that one. I feel like they literally don't watch what everyone is saying and doing and whatever in a regard to like censorship. But Twitter has made vast improvements since Elon Musk bought it, and they're working really hard on that. And I like that. And so I found a lot of people sharing some really cool stuff on there. I'm all about it. But I mention all of that to mention that I will eventually be heading in another direction. And when I do that, I mean, honestly, you guys, my only intent on being, moving there is for control of what I'm creating and what I'm doing, and being able to do, whatever I want that I know is not like bad or hurting anyone or anything. And not just being in my stuff, not being able to just be taken down or hacked at the click of a button. So, I will more than likely, that site is subscription based, and it is like, you pay like a monthly fee to see whatever is shared, and I'll probably just do like $1 a month or something, you guys, just super, super duper cheap, to transition all of my content sharing there. And when I say all of it, I don't really know what it's going to be in the future. I'm a I'm a speaker, I'm a creative at heart, and I will always find avenues to share. But I think as I, kind of scale back all the different things I'm working on, and I'm trying to shift from, a money chaser mentality to what actually fills my heart and makes me feel good. And what makes me feel good is helping other people. Helping other people, especially in the avenue of healing, has always been, always, what I'm really passionate about. I used my other YouTube channel for a long time as to help people learn how to garden. It was an educational gardening channel, and I found a lot of enjoyment in that too, and I still do, and I love gardening. But I think as I move into this new chapter of my life, semi-retirement, I'm going to be committing to less. I'm going to be scaling back. I don't need 15 streams of income. I don't even need like 4. But when you're self-employed, it's good to have a couple. So I'll have a couple, and diversify. But just, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be about. I more than likely on the new platform will share exactly what I've been sharing here for now, and maybe do 1 video a week here on this platform. I don't know, I guess so that people just know where to find me so I can always talk about the fact that the rest of the content lives elsewhere. But I do hope to, once I am semi-retired, to invest my time and energy into publishing my book. And it's a self-help book. So it's a huge means of helping people and putting, my thoughts and my advice and my experiences in book form, which is currently 75,000 words and not finished. I think that is a great way to reach more people to help them. And I feel like that's what I'm here for. I feel like that's what God put me on the planet for. And that's why he put me through the ringer with all the crazy, wild, and insane life experiences, was to teach me lessons to be able to help people on an individual and on a massive scale to heal from whatever trauma they've been through, whether they're, whatever the trauma is. I believe that there are such easy, wonderful solutions to help people that would literally drastically change their life so completely. And my life is living proof of that. My life is living proof of everything I've written in my book is everything I did and I tried, and everything that worked. And anyways, so that's my hope, is that soon, before long, I will be semi-retired and a published author who spends her days cleaning her house and baking wonderful recipes and loving life and promoting her book constantly. That's it. That's all I want to do. And, hopefully that would be, enough of an income to be semi-retired and still have, half of my income. We'll see. I'm really excited about it, you guys. This is a really long video. But, the thing is, you could have clicked off anytime before now, so you didn't have to stay here. So I appreciate you staying to hear the whole story and how things are going to be, changing in the near future. And hopefully before I get this video actually up, I'll get that other platform set up. I mean, I've had it for years. I think it was tied to my old Gmail that was hacked, so I may have to just start a new one. But hey, why not? Start fresh. That's the theme of me going into fall. I am literally craving sitting in my new Poppy's on chair on the porch, wrapped up in a blanket like this, reading a good book and not having any meetings scheduled. No conference calls, no financial meetings, no accounts to reconcile, none of that. And just literally fading into a blissful semi-retirement. I'm ready. I'm so ready. And it's going to be really exciting to see what this new adventure looks like. Because if you imagine, I mean, I've done a lot of research. I'll more than likely have a blog, a website for my book, and a blog where I share weekly self-development tips, or just whatever musings are on my mind for that week. And different things, kind of all just related to that one mission of wanting to help people heal in whatever way possible. And, any way I've tried to imagine it, I can't even make it be a full-time job in my mind, because I know how much time it takes to write something. I know how much time it takes to put together a blog. I know how much time it takes to put together a video, all these different things. And it's just, I can't fathom it being a lot of work, which is wonderful, because that's what I want. I want not a lot of work, but being able to spend the time I choose to put into, income or efforts or whatever, to be solely driven by the desire to help other people. It's going to be great. Who knows what it's going to look like? Maybe I'll have to share some videos on the behind the scenes of that stuff, because I will begin working on some of those things immediately, because I have a marketing person at my firm. Life just feels so calm and still and beautiful right now. My husband mowed last night. Everything looks beautiful outside. The pool is going, so the water is shimmering. And it's just, you guys, this is our life. This is every second that ticks by. That's the only one of those seconds you're going to get. That's the only, 1:01 p.m. of this specific day, of this specific year ever. It's just, if you spend your whole life chasing money, you're just going to wake up and it's all going to be gone. The kids are gone. And I feel like I have the ability to learn from other people's mistakes that I've witnessed, if I've really, really paid attention to what they did and the true consequences of what they went through, and I watched their suffering, and I talked to them about their experience. I feel like I can gain a lot from that, even having not gone through it myself. And I can tell you, my mother worked until she physically could not, and by the time she was not able to physically work, she was in no position to retire. And probably the 10 years leading up to her being permanently disabled, she told me all the time, don't do what I did, Elizabeth. Don't do what I did. Have money set aside for retirement. Plan ahead. Don't do what I did. And a lot of people just work until they die. They just work. And sometimes it's because, they have to. There's no other financial option. And I understand that. And if that's you and, you're beyond, retirement age, what our country thinks is retirement age, which is stupid, by the way. They really should adjust that. I feel really bad for those people. And I know some older people, they work to have something to do. They're there by choice. They're happy to be there. They're getting to get out of the house, whatever. I get that too. Because you've got to keep doing something or your body is just going to shut down. But y'all, I have plenty of hobbies. So I don't have to worry about my body shutting down. I will keep myself busy for sure. But I just, I learned from that lesson from my mom. And I've always had plans of how I was going to do something differently. Because, it wasn't until my mom hit 40, 45, she started having health problems and stuff. And same for my dad. And I'm, 38. And I'm not saying any of that is just kind of coming from me, but I'm saying that it is my priority to not like work my whole life away, work it away, and lose some of the best parts of your life and miss them. To me, it's not worth it. And I have prioritized money too long. And it's just time for me to be accountable to myself and what my true desires are, and to, shift my priorities. There's some things that will pay off to have cheaper bills, and there are some luxuries we'll just cut out. Because is it necessary for me to pay $48 a month so that my dog gets a bark box and gets 5 new chew toys every month? No. It's not necessary. It's not. She's spoiled already. So, just, I can be reasonable about it and make some adjustments and not spend so much money on clothes, because I love clothes. Lord, y'all, I love clothes. But anyway, but I can do that. To get my time freedom, to have my time freedom and to be semi-retired, absolutely. I can do without those things. Absolutely. All it takes is some adjustment and an intention, and reminding myself, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. This is why it's important. And then eventually we'll just adjust. Because I'll tell you, back when I was living my happiest life ever, doing meditation and yoga every day for 18 months, and I was in real estate, I can tell you I was making a fraction of what I make now. A fraction. Literally a fourth. I was making a fourth of what I make now every month. And I was supremely happy. So it really goes to show that happiness is not determined by a number that you're making, unless you make that your priority. But in reality, it is determined by your day-to-day living, what you're doing, what you're spending your time doing. Do you feel free? Do you feel safe and supported? And are you doing things that you love, that light you on fire? Are you spending time with family and friends? And those are the things that actually dictate that internal happiness. It's not going and buying a coffee every day. It's not buying cute outfits every season because it looks so cute in these. No, it's determined in just the everyday moments of what you're spending your time doing, not what you're spending your money on. What are you spending your time doing? And that is what is a big shift for me. And I'm thankful I have that time in my life to compare to this time in my life where I'm making 4 times as much money and I'm doing XYZ, but yet I can't reach that same feeling of complete internal contentment because I've put so many rules on myself over here that I need to make X amount of money so I can buy all these different things and I can have all these different things, but yet we ain't getting nowhere. And I think that's our biggest problem as society, is we've put so much value on buying and attaining things that it's never going to work. You're never going to be happy. So you buy, you're still miserable, and you buy, and you're still miserable. And we get this wrong thought in our head that we just have to make more, to buy more, and then we'll reach that level of happiness. And a lot of millionaires will tell you that's just not true. It's just not. Because if you're a millionaire and you're living that way, you're going to go through all your money and then you go be broke. So you have to, you find the happiness outside of the material things. And that's what I am focusing on doing, and admitting that sometimes I can be great and mindful about it. Other times I really, really suck at it. So just here to say I'm working on it. And just maybe less videos in this arena in the future, come wintertime. Because I need to figure out what the plan is, Stan. So I'll definitely keep you guys in the loop. And I think I'm going to be over on that other channel, on that other place. I'm going to be doing monthly live videos for sure. And at least 1 video a week until I transition probably 2 a week, and live monthly. And if we like the live, hey, might even do it like every 2 weeks. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Play it by ear. See what happens. Anyways, thanks for being here. I love you guys. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for spending so much time with me today. My goodness, it's like we're besties. And I'm going to go get to work because I still have to do that. So off I go. Anyways, love you guys.